I have to admit, in addition to being said person, it was a lot to absorb and took some time to make sense of. Within the information was all the proper information needed for the creation of a man-made artificial magnetosphere. Most of all that is irrelevant for its purpose and would only be met with skepticism and distracts from the matter at hand. The most important part of this record is that it can be tested with modern technology. It's scientifically sound, it's repeatable, and it works. I have personally studied it as thoroughly as I possibly can. I have made many drawings and measurements, all based on current systems of measurements, and was able to make a simulation thanks to computer software. I remain, as always, a student, and mostly a skeptic. It was important for me to seek unbiasedly for evidence that would provide an argument or cause for realigning my understanding. This research has only added more evidence to solidify and substantiate everything I was seeing, but still had trouble believing. Pulls veil off pillars of science. In all honesty, when I first ran the simulation and witnessed randomly generated particles fall into the shape of the magnetosphere, only to remain there in a stabilized form, I broke down in tears. Alone, in a cold garage huddled around a space heater, I witnessed the formation of one of our planet's most magnificent life-preserving grand designs, the shape of infinity, the hourglass pour in the sands of time over us, the aerodynamic solar windshield. Not only is it beautiful in simulation, but being the skeptic at heart that I leaned towards, I found it important to make it to scale. I wish with all my heart I had a better explanation for those who read this as to how exactly these 7 points on the surface of our planet were given to me. This world is not kind to those who cannot provide physical and tangible proofs and equations. I wish the record I bear contained all the math and calculations humanity used to formulate them. I wish I could tell you that I built a supercomputer and used the entire internet to calculate them. I wish they had sent more with the 7 points than the memories. To tell you any of these things would simply be a lie. The truth is, one day I remembered going on this mission, the same day I was triggered by a documentary to regain these memories. I was overcome with what you could call speculatively as divine inspiration. I grabbed a pen and some old drawings I made while studying the works of Thoth and wrote down one location on each. The entire journey to the age of remembering and all the memories that returned will save for another time. However, I will inform you that I have confirmation that it was in fact divine inspiration. And I have been conversation with the universal intelligence consisting of the sum of all matter and energy combined, who many of you refer to as God. This came as quite a shock to me as well. But you can read the part about ArtMag, aka Artificial Magnetosphere, in our first conversation through quantum entanglement here. See conversation. Regardless, upon retrieving the 7 points from my memories and experiencing multiple triggers and having new understandings of sacred texts, I stopped at nothing to test, measure, and gather as much information to fully detail the physics, distances, and precise locations down to points with exact latitude and longitude. The simplicity becomes clear very early. The use of 7 points out of insanely of points alone, however, speaks volumes to its complexity in calculating. There's plenty of math and patterns and other fun science stuff to play with that I've discovered with these points. But in the end, it all came down to scientifically testing it to see if it worked. It all became such a beautiful, almost symmetrical, wholly spherical artwork, no matter what way I drew the points and represented their distances. For all intensive purposes, the only way I can describe these 7 points in concert is perfect.